I think you only did 2 rakat. So one brother said, SubhanAllah, you did 4 rakat. They were really confused. Then there was one man in the back. He said, Sheikh, you only did 3 rakat. So the Sheikh asked him, how sure are you? How sure are you? He said, I'm 110% sure. There's no room for doubt here. With certainty, you only did 3 rakat. You haven't done 4 rakat. He said, how can you be so sure? He said, it's very easy. He said, every day I come, at the end of the day, and I come for Salat al-Isha. And with a businessman, he had a few businesses, 4 in particular. And he goes, in the first rakat, I calculate my profit margin in the first store. In the second rakat, I calculated the profit margin of my second store. In the third rakat, I calculated the profit margin of my third store. I know, Imam, I'm really upset with you today. So what do you mean? He said, you didn't give me the opportunity to calculate the profit margin of my fourth store. That's what it was. So this person, subhanAllah, he's in salah, but subhanAllah, he's doing something else in salah. So subhanAllah, the sisters and the committee, they asked me to speak about tahara. There's a couple of things, subhanAllah. There's a couple of things that I just want to quickly go over, inshallah, and then we'll open up the floor for a Q&A. Because I have to leave around 8:30, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. I'm on a 3-hour drive back home. Having said that, physical tahara is extremely important. In the Quran, there are ayat where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is advised, actually not even advised, but obligated to keep his clothes clean from any impurities. And there's a list of certain things which are impure. Ketchup and a mustard stain is still pure. You can offer salah with ketchup and mustard, subhanAllah, on your thawb. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in Surah Al-Mudaththir, he received an ayah, an imperative, وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ, that make sure your clothes are clean. Allah Jalla wa'ala in the Quran, he said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ التَّوَّابِينَ وَيُحِبُّ الْمُتَطَهِّرِينَ. Allah loves those who, subhanAllah, who engage in spiritual cleanliness. They cleanse themselves from the sins through tawbah. But mutatahhirin, tatahara yutatahhiru. There's mubalagha, there's ta'keed here. Allah loves those who, subhanAllah, make sure their bodies are free from impurities. So now the question is, there's something called sababun nuzul or sha'nun nuzul. Why was this verse revealed? Inna Allah yuhibbu at-tawwabin wa yuhibbu al-mutatahhirin. The people of the area of Quba, right? In Masjid Quba, if you've gone for Umrah, if you offer 2 rakat, subhanAllah, in Masjid Quba, you get the reward of an Umrah. And that's why, obviously, among the 3 masajid, you have Masjid al-Haram, Masjid al-Nabawi, al-Masjid al-Aqsa. The 4th, most superior masjid in Islam, according to many ulama, would be Masjid Quba. The people of Quba, when they would actually, in fact, fulfill the call of nature, when they would use the bathroom, they would, subhanAllah, use water. They would use water. Many youth don't know the ahkam of what you call in the books of fiqh, kitab al-istinja, right? The tabab and kitab al-tahara. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam received revelation in the Quran and such praise of those people who, subhanAllah, after fulfilling the call of nature. Because remember, whether you're a king or a beggar, whether you are educated or uneducated, male or female, adult or child, we carry impurities. All of us do. None of us can say that I have no impurities in my body. Your body is designed that way. And so subhanAllah, they go to the time of Malik bin Dinar, a person was subhanAllah circumambulating the Kaaba. He was circumnavigating the Kaaba, performing tawaf around the Kaaba. And he was a young man. And mashallah, this young man thought he was the best thing since sliced bread. He was full of it. Literally and figuratively. Right? And Malik bin Dinar, he said, don't walk like this. This is you're performing tawaf. You're amam Kaaba. You're in front of the Kaaba. Have some humility. This is a walk that Allah dislikes. So he said, Ama ta'arifuni? Well, you don't know who my daddy is? Right? Don't you know who I am? Right? Don't you know that I have a PhD? Right? You know, I have this many zeros in my bank account. You don't know me? He said, in a haughty way, very conceited, arrogant way. SubhanAllah, he said, I know exactly who you are. He said, أول نطفة مذرة وآخر جيفة كبيرة وأنت تحمل فيما بين ذلك الأمر. He said, your beginning was a vile fluid. Your dad's vile fluid. That's your beginning. Before that, you were nothing. That's your beginning. Your end is a stench-ridden corpse. This is all of us. And from your beginning till your end, you know what you are? You are a vial full of impurities, stool, urine, and blood. That's who you are. And that's what you are. SubhanAllah, those were the days where people would listen to advice. Imam Dhahabi rahimahullah, he writes this narration in Siyar A'lam al-Nubala. He said, after that day, this person never walked a step on earth with arrogance, with haughtiness, and with pride. ولا تمشي في الأرض مرحا ولا تمشي في الأرض مرحا. Don't walk on this earth with pride, with a conceited gait. SubhanAllah, our clothes must be clean. And now the question is, so for example, what are some examples of impurities? Well, obviously you got stool, you got urine, you've got alcohol, wine, you've got blood, right? Those are the most common among others. So if a person, subhanAllah, has a certain amount of impurities on their body, and what's afu or ma'fuwan an, what's considered, you know, what the Sharia forgives is about a quarter's worth, about a quarter, an American quarter. A quarter's worth of impurities on your clothes and your body, cumulatively speaking. So, say and obviously because of the hadith, right, wherein, you know, the Sahaba he said, مَوْضِعَ الدِّرْهَمْ فَاحِشٌ. That what's more than a dirham is fahish, it's unacceptable. So now, the reason why we use water after fulfilling the call of nature is because, and particularly males, our anatomy is built in such a way, physiologically speaking or biologically speaking, that there will always be a few drops of urine within our urethra. And the Prophet actually acknowledges this. And there's something called istibra. Istibra is that when a person, subhanAllah, fulfills the call of nature, males, particularly, there is always a few drops of urine left in one's urethra. And you have to make sure, Allahu Akbar, that all of that is exited. And sometimes it takes maybe a few moments, it can subhanAllah take a few minutes as well. So the fuqaha, they say that, you know what, in this particular situation, what you should use is you should use some, you know what, some hygiene paper, toilet paper, whatever you call it here, and obviously put it between, subhanAllah, that part of your body and your intimate wear. And within a few moments, or within, if you go for a walk, or subhanAllah, you know, where you can just stay in the lavatory in itself. And once, subhanAllah, those drops of urethra have exited, at the very least, subhanAllah, it doesn't spoil your clothes. Because it is with those very clothes, and subhanAllah, you will offer your salah. And if you have more than, subhanAllah, what is considered afu, or what is considered, you know, subhanAllah, forgivable, according to Islamic law, then you're going against the verse of the Quran, which is explicit evidence of the Quran, where Allah Jalla wa Ala says, وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِرْ, and obviously He says, يَا أَيُّهَا الْمُدَّثِّرْ قُمْ, stand in salah, وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِرْ, but before you stand in salah, make sure your clothes are clean. Right? Likewise is the case for our sisters as well. But subhanAllah, I'm just giving you, you know, like a taste of tahara. Tahara usually, I mean, it's an entire course of in itself. Maybe in the future we'll actually just teach the course on an entire Sunday or a Saturday or Friday, whichever day it may be. It's extremely important as a matter of fact. So that is, you know, one example among the many of the physical purification. Another example, subhanAllah, is Allah Jalla wa Ala in the Quran. He says, Ya ayyuhan nas, for example, a lot of students, they would say, Sheikh, I pray. I'm like, very good. A lot of the youth, when they go for a wedding, you know, when they're at a social event or a dinner, they'll pray. But very few do wudu. A lot of youth, for whatever reason, they don't like doing wudu. And I asked one of my nephews, I said, what's up with you, what's up with you guys? Like, I never see you and your friend do wudu. He knows he has to do wudu, because my brother didn't give it to him. He doesn't do wudu. But a lot of children will say, I have wudu, but as parents and as teachers, we say, we believe them. We take their word. Of course we do. But we say, that's okay, but I want to see how you do wudu, so do wudu again. It eliminates a lot of back and forth, a lot of rhetoric between, you know, child and parent. Say, do wudu again. I want to see. I want to see how you do wudu, right? So a lot of the youth, they don't want to do wudu because they don't want to ruin their hairstyle. The hair is Allahu Akbar, you know? You don't want to ruin your hairstyle. Sheikh, you know, got this cut, and I got product in it. Right? And it's okay. You don't have to have product in your hair, as long as the product is halal. But obviously, when Allah, so one sahul bi ru'usikum, they don't want to do mas. So there is a khilaf as far as the mas is concerned. So isti'ab al-ras, according to the Maliki madhab, you have to kind of do the entire head. According to the Hanafi madhab, it's rubu al-ras. According to the Shafi'i madhab, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 3 or 4 hairs. At the very minimum, the sunnah is to do isti'ab al-ras, the entire head. So I always tell youth that, okay, man, just wipe the side, wipe the back. Do the bare minimum, but at the very least, don't offer salah without wudu. So one student of mine said, well, do I really need to do wudu? What it won't, is Allah that small-minded? Ma'allah. And this is how you think nowadays. That Allah needs me to do wudu. Like Allah's not going to accept my salah without wudu. How do we answer that? How do we answer that? Somebody tell me. I teach all day, so I mean, I'm more of a teacher than a lecturer. How do we answer that? Allah doesn't need my wudu. Allah knows in my heart. Yes. And he said, I'm pure man. I just, you know what? I just went swimming. I went swimming at the Y. I'm pure. I'm clean. Man, I'm even smelling like Old Spice. That's how clean I am. Habibi. Right? Old Spice deodorant. You guys have that here? Okay, yeah. How do we answer that? What are the youth leaders? Masjid. Yes. Pardon me? Exactly. So obviously we're going to say we don't make the rules. Allah makes the rules. It's in the Quran. So you got to always get them back to the Quran. And how Quran is law. It's law. Right? Whether you understand it or not, it's law. You could be stuck at a red light. There's no traffic coming. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. If you run a red light, a police officer has the right to pull you over and issue a ticket for violating a traffic law. Right? You're in an infraction of a traffic law. Period. And sometimes, you know what, that answer will be good enough for them at that time. Likewise, subhanAllah, there are many other rulings when it comes to tahara. And even a lot of adults who get married, subhanAllah. Or a lot of the sisters, subhanAllah, once they hit the age of puberty, or the brothers hit the age of puberty, for example, ghusl. You know what, these rulings are very applicable and they need to be taught. You can't teach tahara in a matter of an hour. It's literally impossible at the end of the day. But you know, I just want to obviously speak about some basic things, you know, that we have to do. Now, when it comes to subhanAllah, spiritual or internal purification, Allah Jalla wa Ala in the Quran says, قُلْ إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ رَبِّي الْفَوَاحِشَ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ. That Allah has declared unlawful all types of indecency and immorality, the apparent and the hidden thereof. So we all have something called amrad al-qulub, diseases of the heart. So tawbah is something else. Tawbah is a spiritual cleanser. You make a mistake, you do tawbah, you're forgiven. You make a mistake, a sin, you do tawbah, Allah forgives your sin. As long as the tawbah is tawbah and nasuha, it's actually in fact sincere. But there are many diseases of the heart. And this is something, subhanAllah, which is deadly. They say that the sins of the heart, or the diseases of the heart, let's call them sins. The sins of the heart are far more catastrophic and consequential to your faith than physical sins. The person, subhanAllah, drinks, for example. They're in a state of inebriation for 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever it may be. And subhanAllah, the sin has stopped. The drinking has stopped. You're done. You know, you got wasted, right? 20 minutes, now you're in a state of inebriation. That's the consequences of those sins. You're done. Okay. Envy. Envy, subhanAllah, is a deadly sin. Hasad. Nobody is safe from envy. And that's why in the Quran, when we sharri hasidin, in the hasad, we seek Allah Jalla wa Ala's protection. One thing that we need to understand and realize is that the sons of a prophet, grandsons of a prophet, great-grandsons of a prophet, they all, subhanAllah, were perpetrators of this sin. Referring to the brothers of Yusuf, alayhi salatu wasalam, the sons of Yaqub, the grandsons of Ishaq, and the great-grandsons of Ibrahim, alayhi salatu wasalam. They actually their envy was of such a degree, of such intensity, that they plotted to kill Uqtulu Yusuf, أو اتركوه أرضا يكن لكم وجه أبيكم وتكونوا من بعده قوم صالحين. Some said, let's kill Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And this should not take you as a surprise, because subhanAllah, even Habil and Qabil, Abel and Cain, one killed the other out of envy. Blood brothers. See, if I'm envious of my brother because mashallah he has a good thobe, a green thobe on, and the reason I chose you is mashallah you're a good looking brother. You have a beautiful smile as well, mashallah. You're humble about it. Hey, I'm making you blush. But it's because you're wearing the color green. So I can be green with envy. But my envy, subhanAllah, could have started when did we first meet? On Friday. And I could be envious till the day I die. I could have hasad against him till the day I die. And for each second that I am, subhanAllah, envious of him, then why did Allah bless him with that thobe and not me with that thobe? And that thobe belongs to me. Oh Allah, I deserve it. Oh Allah, you don't know what you're doing. He doesn't deserve it. That's what envy means. You're questioning Allah's decree. The day I die, I'm getting the sin. And that's what subhanAllah, what did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say regarding envy? He said, إن الحسد يأكل الحسنات كما تأكل النار الحطب. That envy, it devours your good deeds, similar to how fire devours branches and dry wood. And if we don't check the envy in us, it just makes you more miserable. See, the Prophet said, كل ذي نعمة محسود. We all have blessings. Anybody who has a blessing, subhanAllah, somebody will be envious of you. Unfortunately, this is the reality of our dunya. And many a time, subhanAllah, there's envy among siblings, family, extended family, community members. And how do we purify ourselves from these, subhanAllah, spiritual diseases? Obviously, it's a science in of itself. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has actually, in fact, spoken about it. I mean, another, subhanAllah, and I'll end it with this, is disease of the heart is enmity. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Anas ibn Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, Ya bunayya, O my beloved son, in istata'at, if you can, in qadarta an tusbiha, wa tumsiya, وليس في قلبك غشا لأحد فافعل. If you can rise every morning and retire every evening in a state that you have no enmity for anyone, do that. وذلك من سنته. ذلك here is amazing. ذلك is الاسم الإشارة البعيد. But obviously he's speaking, he said, this is my sunnah by saying ذلك. Why dhalika? Dhalika is used for ta'zeem. This is among the major sunnah of mine. One of the biggest sunnahs of mine, most gargantuan sunnahs, is for not having enmity and envy for others. And subhanAllah, if you can rise every morning and retire every evening in a state that your heart is clean for your Muslim brother and sister, you fulfilled my sunnah. And whoever fulfilled my sunnah, فَقَدْ أَحَبَّنِي, this person loves me. And whoever loves me, كَانَ مَعِي فِي الْجَنَّةِ, this person, subhanAllah, will be with me in Jannah. So, subhanAllah, I just want to, first and foremost, thank the Lord. It's not easy, organizing programs, calling people from out of town. And I want to obviously thank all of the brothers and sisters as well, your generosity, your mahabbah, your undivided attention, and you allowing us to, subhanAllah, benefit from one another. I'm truly grateful for and of. SubhanAllah, I think there's so much love in this community that I feel that I haven't done no justice, because love is not a one-way street, but it's a two-way boulevard. And I need to, pull my my end of the way next time I'm here, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. But I'm going to take, 2 or 3 questions just for the sake of taking them. I think it's important. And they could be on, like whatever topic you want, but, some answers would be lengthy, so we're going to try to keep it, quite brief and succinct. Yes?
What will be your advice, to the youth so that during this time with this multiple technologies, some people that they would like to play gaming, something like that. What will be, your advice so that this youth should stay with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be a good example for their classmates, for the people in the society?
That's a great question. So, subhanAllah, gaming has become, among the most popular addictions, subhanAllah, in adult behavior. Look, I think, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he actually said that iqtanim, the translation is not taking advantage of, but it actually means capitalize. The Quran is a lot of commercial language. You capitalize 5 on 5 and take advantage of your time, or capitalize on your time before you become occupied. And yes, I do understand that gaming has become part of the culture, of our monolithic world. But if it's distracting you from, subhanAllah, progressing both in your dunya and your akhirah, then subhanAllah, at the very least, it has to be mitigated or restricted. Maybe you can't completely eliminate it, and we can understand that to a certain degree. But if you're fulfilling your fara'id, if you're financially getting stronger, intellectually, education getting stronger, physically getting stronger, spiritually getting stronger, if all of those things are, subhanAllah, at par excellence, and then you still have some little time left, then absolutely you can use it. But that should be, subhanAllah, not the end game. It should be a means of you relaxing your mind, relaxing your body, so you can prioritize your priorities. Right? Nowadays, subhanAllah, everyone wants to do everything haphazardly, have a lot of time, and say, I have 6 hours to gain. And it's becoming an issue. Remember, the Prophet said, Al-Mu'min al-Qawmi khayrun min al-Mu'min al-Da'if. Right? A stronger believer, obviously in their spirituality, but in other forms as well, is always better than a weak believer. And that's why the Nabi also said, Man istawa yawma fahuwa maqbul. Whoever's 2 days are equal, this person is inshallah lost. So that's great. Alhamdulillah. Is there a way, I taught a course, I have 2 courses. One is breaking up with my phone. You can break up with your beloved, but you'll never break up. Get my phone right here. Allahu Akbar, right? You'll never break up with your phone. Right? And obviously the hashtag generation, social media etiquette at the end of the day. Right? Great question was that. Next question. Yes?
You said Masjid Quba. You indicated that. Where is that?
Quba near Medina.
Is it in Saudi Arabia?
In Saudi Arabia, yeah, very close to
the
first masjid in Islam.
Is it up north, south, east, or west?
I think it's west, but the brothers who were, if I can recall, it's somewhat west of the Masjid Nabawi. But like that, you fact check that, all right? Something like that. Next question. An amazing crowd, I'm sure. Yes. Cool. Sisters, any questions? No, no. You can definitely do it as well, or you can definitely do that, inshallah. MashaAllah, very good. How can I stop feeling guilty for the past sin even after making tawbah? So I think if you feeling guilty is a good thing. But once you do tawbah, you should be happy that Allah has given you the ability and the tawfiq to do tawbah. And know that Allah loves you, because Allah, inna Allah yuhibbu at-tawwabin. Also, the moment you do tawbah, at-ta'ibu min al-dhanbi kaman la dhanba lahu. Amazing. At-ta'ibu min al-dhanbi kaman la dhanba lahu. You didn't commit the sin in the first place. be happy that Allah has given you the ability to do tawbah. Sure, you can not feel guilty, but you can use that as a lesson. That, oh Allah, protect me from being in such predicaments again. Obviously, sometimes, you know what, it requires a conversation. Think of your sister's name, Fatima? Sister Fatima? What's your sister's name again?
Halima.
Halima? Yeah. Your sister Halima has our contact number. Sometimes it requires a conversation with someone as well. You know what, we can always, you know what, have a conversation through a Zoom call, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, what you want to do, you know, is you have to believe that Allah loves you and Allah has forgiven you, and is it as if you haven't committed the sin in the first place? Next question.
I got a question.
One second, my brother. How do I, as a woman, pursue halal marriage, courtship, with so many men who are spiritually depleted in my age group? Allahu Akbar. This is a serious question. How do I, as a woman, pursue halal marriage and courtship with so many men who are spiritually depleted in my age group? Yes. First and foremost, my brothers, you know, we need to step up our game. You know, intellectually, educationally, but above all, spiritually. And
females, both.
give me 1 second. Okay? So, you know, I think subhanAllah, you need to speak to obviously local community leaders, also network. There are many other brothers as well, or many brothers subhanAllah equally, who feel the same way. They feel that sometimes, you know what, a lot of women are spiritually, you know what, depleted. So, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you know, وَطَيِّبُونَ لِلطَّيِّبَاتِ. You know, so, you know, the pure for the pure. So inshallah, you know what, I mean network, there's a lot of, you know, conferences, you know, happening, and, you know, ask your community leaders, and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah make this, subhanAllah, part of your journey easy, and, you know, your nisfat deen, subhanAllah, is preserved. Allah said, إِذَا تَزَوَّجَ الْعَبْدُ فَقَدْ اسْتَكْمَلَ نِصْفَ الدِّينِ. How can we as Muslims stay more motivated to be better on deen? Look, we're all here for a little while, right? The Prophet of Allah, he received revelation. Do ruku, do sujood, wa'budu rabbakum. Worship Allah and waf'al al-khayr. Do all the good you can, to all the people you can, whenever you can, in whatever capacity you can, as long as you can. That's it. Right? And when you know that, subhanAllah, today may be your last day on earth, the scratch on my Ferrari ain't gonna matter. It doesn't matter. The scratch on my Ferrari or my Corolla doesn't matter. It's okay. How can I be more knowledgeable of Islam? Where should I even start? You know, subhanAllah, your local scholars. I really want to, you know, I think subhanAllah, you guys are situated in such a way where I think you know, like you have to speak to your community and maybe establish. I mean, there's a lot of things online nowadays. There's a lot of, you know, institutions. You have to figure out what works for your schedule. But subhanAllah, continue the pursuit of knowledge, because the pursuit of knowledge is one of the most noble things that, you know, a Muslim can do. And remember, we're all tullab ilm, every single one of us. You don't stop learning until you die. And that's what the Prophet said, talab al-ilmi fariida ala kulli Muslim, right? We're all students of knowledge until we die, inshallah. How can I balance my religious obligation with my academic pursuit? What are some practical strategies for overcoming procrastination, for staying motivated? So 2 questions here. I think, subhanAllah, your academic pursuit could be still part of your religious obligation. As long as you're fulfilling the fard ayn, your salah, your siyam. I think by you, sister, pursuing education, inshallah, as long as it's for the right reasons, you're going to get rewarded for that. Every exam you write, you get rewarded for that. Every degree you obtain, you get rewarded for that. Make the intention that, subhanAllah, you will be among those women who, if they even have to, subhanAllah, stand up to the Microsoft billionaires for using AI to bomb our brothers and sisters in Gaza, you will do that, inshallah. Right? You will make our ummah strong. You know, one of the Tabi'in said, give me a good mother, I'll give you a good nation. You know, my sisters, education is very important for you as well. When we educate a man, we educate a man. When we educate a woman, we educate an entire generation. So keep up the good work, alhamdulillahi ta'ala. Sure. I'm going to take this question and one more question, then we're done, inshallah.
Yeah, you said 8:30 is possible.
It's okay, man. You know what, man? This is Muslim standard time. All right, come.
So it says, it's kind of long.
Here, can I read it? I'm a fast reader. How can we encourage our youth to stay connected to the masjid beyond just Jummah? I've noticed that many young people come for Friday prayer, but rarely we hear for any purpose of the program. What are some effective ways to keep them engaged and make the masjid a place they genuinely can feel part of? I think, subhanAllah, whatever this masjid is doing, they're on the right track. I saw the basketball league. That's the beginning. It's not the end. Right? I feel that there are younger, subhanAllah, people on the board. Right? There's people who are born here, raised here, educated here. You know, get them, subhanAllah, involved. I think food is great. Food is a great calling. But at the same time, I think you need to have speakers and leadership of all sorts. Among what people are gravitated towards is language. If a person can speak in the language, not only English, but at a level where those individuals need to be spoken to, that is key. Why do I say this? Because Allah Jalla wa Ala in the Quran says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ. You have all the messengers spoke the local language of the people, but not only just the local language. You understood the culture, right? Believe it or not, I studied Gen Z vocabulary. I studied Gen Z. I studied millennials, like their vocabulary, because unless I say, you know what, bet and no cap, and stack those blessings, and all that other stuff, right? Like I'm old. My kids think I'm from Mars, and I'm born and raised in Toronto. Like I'm on campus. Like what, God?
That's tough. Toronto, that's strong. You gotta be strong.
Toronto Sharif, my brother.
It's hard.
Toronto Sharif, right?
It's hard to live there. It's hard to live there.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, right? So what I'm saying is, I think we're on the right track. But how do we get people in the masjid? You gotta also make them feel welcome. Let's be let. I'm gonna end with this piece of advice for me first and foremost. A person, subhanAllah, he asked Imam Ghazali, rahimahullah, who wrote the Ihya, but the Masri scholar, the great scholar as well. He said, Sheikh, have a neighbor. Doesn't come to Salah, doesn't go to the masjid. What's the ruling? He said, just remind them, he's your neighbor, you guys hook over you. Just remind them, come for Salah once in a while and do that. He said, no, Sheikh, what's the ruling? Is he a fasiq? Is he a fajr? Is he going to hell? Allah, right? So the Sheikh said, we don't need to label him. We just remind him.
That's what my
Say, well, Sheikh, no, I need the ruling. Well, the Sheikh knew this person was creating a little fitna. Was creating a little friction. I love what the Sheikh said. The Sheikh said the ruling is, we take food to his house. Get some steaks, mashallah, prime cut. Right? Become his friend. Win his heart. Earn his love. And then once he loves you, and you keep on feeding him those steaks and those $10, matcha milkshakes, right? Eventually he'll come. Obviously, I'm putting a lot of commentary in this, right? But he said something amazing. He said, "Kun da'iyan la qadiyan." He said, "Be a caller towards good and never a judge." ويعطي الله جل وعلا نصب علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا حلالا طيبا وعملا متقبلا وشفاء من كل داء اللهم انا نسالك من خير كل عاجله واجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم ونعوذ بك من شر كل عاجله واجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to preserve our iman and to preserve our youth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safeguard our chastity and our purity. We ask Allah Jalla wa ala for those brothers and sisters who are at the eligible age of marriage. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create pious spouses for them. SubhanAllah will become coolest of each other's eyes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alleviate and mitigate the trials of each and every single one of us who are gathered here today, their family members of our ummah as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alleviate the suffering and subhanAllah the persecution, the oppression, and also the occupation of our brothers and sisters in Palestine. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the entire Muslim ummah في كل زمان ومكان يا رب العالمين. And we ask Allah Jalla wa ala for all the beautiful things Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked for, and we seek protection and refuge in Allah from all of the things that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sought protection from. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, Jazakumullah khairan. I need to head out, inshallah. I know Salah is at 9 o'clock, but I'm going to try to make Salah as soon as I cross the border. How long is the border?
An hour and a half.
Okay, well, maybe I'll just stop, inshallah, on the way, بإذن ta'ala, or I'll just do jam, inshallah. أخر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بينهما, so inshallah, I'll just do jam, inshallah, بإذن الله تعالى, and jam, inshallah.